Sunday. And of course, in the polity, a lot is actually happening within the Nigerian political landscape. But before we go ahead, I want to say a few things which I feel is quite important for us to address. The press has the platform to mediate between the government and the people. We're supposed to resonate what the people need the government to know. The essence of governance is to hold persons in government accountable to their responsibilities, and that's what the fourth estate of the realm represent. That's the press. Now, when you are elected in office, you are elected by the people, meaning that the people trust you to hold down and represent their responsibility in every facet of government. Now, when you get to that position, it is left for you to do the needful. The people will pay their tax. They will do what you want them to do. But make sure that the policies you make are people friendly and that they resonate with how the environment will favor the people who voted you in. The reason why I'm saying this is the fact that I want to first of all start from the presidency, then of course to the governors, the ministers and the National Assembly. From the presidency, I implore you, it is quite important for you to understand that things are not as you think they are. The country is very hard. Things are difficult. Basic amenities are no longer accessible. People cannot transport themselves to the various locations to work. People cannot feed. Accommodation is unavailable. Insecurity is high. People are literally stuck between the deep blue sea and a huge rock. It is quite important for you to understand that you are there to resonate the will of the people. When you default in your responsibility, it means that you have failed. When you campaign, you make promises to the people and they trust you to deliver those promises. But when you get there and don't deliver, then you have ultimately failed. To our governors, obviously, the presidency cannot do everything alone. So the governors who represent each of the states, that is the 36 states of the Federation, it behoves you as well to ensure that democracy gets to every nook and cranny of the state that you govern. Please wake up to your responsibility. The country is very hard. Resuscitate your social intervention programs. Whatever social intervention programs that you have, resuscitate it. Look into these things. They're very, very important. People are literally slumping and dying. The country literally is not smiling. For our ministers and National Assembly members, you are there to represent each constituency, make laws and pass bills that will favor the people, attract investment opportunities. Why don't you hold the executive accountable if they're not fulfilling these responsibilities? Why keep mum? Even if you will enjoy yourself or embezzle with sympathy. That is what you have to do. Embezzle with the fact that so long as the people have the basic amenities accessible to them, then they may even look aside if you're embezzling. But for you to do that in total incognito without understanding the plight of the people that put you in there is really sad. Underdevelopment is rife. And to all of us as Nigerians, tribal sentiment, nepotism and bigotry is not the way to go. The hunger is slashing the throat of everyone. The insecurity affects everybody. The stifling economic condition affects everyone. So why do you bicker and spread and spill hatred amongst yourselves via several platforms, falling into the trap of the politicians who want to keep you divided and distracted from the real cause of the issue? It is our duty to do right as citizens. Let us help ourselves as we can in these very stringent times. That is what we have to do. Let's stay focused and help. All right, once again, welcome to the Political Spotlight. I already introduced myself as Esther Wachuku. And of course, we're going to be going straight into the conversation. But before that, we're actually streaming live on YouTube. It is at VOP 90.3 FM. VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. And of course, for all of you who are actually already a family, I would implore you to actually share, all right, the handle. And you can follow me on YouTube at Estiq Media. That's ESTIQ MEDIA. STIQMEDIA. Subscribe. There's quite a lot to actually talk about right on that very particular platform. And of course, follow us across our social media handles at Estanwaz on Instagram, Estanwachiku on Facebook, at Estanwachiku on X, or rather, you call it Twitter. Okay, so let's start off with the very, would I say, obvious situation going on at this moment. Now, we know that on Saturday, Ajuri Ngelale made an announcement that he was stepping aside as presidential spokesman. Well, he had fallen out with many key presidential officials. Femi Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff, Hakeem Muri-Okinola, principal secretary, Victor Adeleke, chief of state protocol, not forgetting President Bola Tinubu's son, Sheyi, who together with Gbajabiamila engineered Ngelale's appointment as special advisor on media and publicity in July 2023. Now, even George Akume, the secretary to the government of the Federation, reportedly complained to the president about how Ngelale created positions and announced to the public without informing his office, which manages political appointments. Well, in May 2024, Ngelale was named Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Action, Chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on Project Evergreen, Nigeria's first green industrial zone, angered stakeholders in the sector who saw it as a power grab and a violation of extant laws. An insider stated within the presidency that Ajuri behaves as if he owns Aso Rock. And this is from a senior insider in the presidential villa who had told the cable on Wednesday, this was on Wednesday before Saturday, that Ajuri eventually dropped that resignation note. Well, as you know, this was on Wednesday that the cable got a hint of it, and 3 days later, Ajuri Ngelale was gone. Announcing that he was proceeding on an indefinite leave of absence on Saturday, he said it was for health reasons in the nuclear family. Well, according to the cable, they confirmed that there is indeed a medical issue in his family, but it was not the primary reason for his decision to step aside. The immediate trigger, he also prematurely announced the decision of the government of the United Arab Emirates to lift the visa ban on Nigeria. The government was particularly embarrassed by the media backlash on each occasion. Some of his press statements, according to the insider within the presidency, they quoted it as childish, pointing to when Ngelale posted on social media that he had broken the State House record for most statements issued in a single day. That was on July 13, 2024. Ngelale, aged 37, was also as he hardly gave any directions to his team members or held meetings with them. According to this insider, he was running a one-man show and played members of the team against each other, dealing only with the people he thought he brought into the team. Now, the president had been attracted to Ngelale because of his well-delivered CNN interview in May 2023. Had also been asking his aides why his spokesman was no longer appearing regularly on television, since that was his major selling point. Although Ngelale resumed his television duties, it was apparent by the day that he was already losing out in Aso Rock politics. Now, there was where the beginning of the civil war began. And this is according to how the cable highlighted it. So here is where the power play struck. Dele Alake, the Commissioner of Information and Strategy in Lagos State from 1999 to 2007, when Tinubu was governor, had been positioned to be the special advisor on media, strategy and special duties to the president. It all looked like a done deal until Sheyi, whom the insiders within the presidency say plays a major role in appointments made by his father, and decided to torpedo it. Working with Gbajabiamila, who was still a strong chief of staff before the appointment of Muri-Okinola, Sheyi played up Ngelale's credentials to checkmate Alake, whose office would have been at the presidential villa if he had been made presidential spokesman. Instead, he was appointed Minister of Solid Minerals and Ngelale was named as spokesman. But that was just the beginning. Ngelale's mistakes were constantly highlighted as reasons why he needed supervision. Bayo Ononuga, former managing director of the News Agency of Nigeria, and an experienced journalist who graduated from the University of Lagos in 1980, was named Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to the President on October 2023 to perform that role. Now, many commentators believe President Tinubu had too many senior figures in his communication team, amounting to a duplication of roles. But it was also thought that Onanuga's appointment would unify the team and streamline the flow of communication from the presidency. However, it was not to be. Now, the insiders told the cable that Ngelale refused to work with Onanuga and continued to relate directly with the president, apparently because he had the backing of Gbajabiamila and Sheyi Tinubu. The irony, though, is that Ngelale initially refused to accept his appointment as presidential spokesman, insisting he wanted to pursue a different path outside of government, having been part of the communications team of President Muhammadu Buhari for 4 years. He was persuaded by the president's son to take the job, unknown to him that he was just, according to what the insiders said, this was all a game plan. The game which ultimately turned to what it became. Now, why did Ajuri quit as presidential spokesman amidst the Aso Rock civil war? According to what insiders say, defending incompetency isn't easy, and these reactions trailed Ajuri Ngelale's resignation. Ajuri Ngelale embarks on indefinite leave over vexatious medical situation. Several things occurred based on that. Of course, many other sources have come up to give their own different definitions as to what led to Ajuri's resignation or Ajuri's, will I say, indefinite medical leave. However, the big question is this. If you have known Ajuri Ngelale and the stance that he takes, could it be that he was indeed power drunk? What toes did he step on? These sources within the presidency that have been giving information to the press, I don't know who these sources are, but most media houses have several stories as to these things concerning what truly transpired that led to the resignation, or rather the undue leave, medical leave by Ajuri Ngelale. We're hoping very soon that beyond what Ajuri Ngelale wrote to us, he will tell us his own story as to what truly transpired. Several speculations are rife as to what transpired. Some persons say tribalism is one of the main issues. Other persons say possibly because Ajuri wasn't experienced. Other persons say Ajuri couldn't stand the supposed rife inadequacy, incompetency, policy indecisions, or whatnot you can have to assume concerning the people he works with. So, my guest in the studio this evening is Mr. Elvis Elimehele. Mr. Elvis Elimehele is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Mr. Elvis Elimehele is right here with me in the studio, and we'll be discussing this and other issues right here on the Political Spotlight. Mr. Elvis, good evening, and thank you for joining us on the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther. Welcome to another new day.
I'm fine.
For Political Spotlight in this studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me well? Because somebody is saying no voice in FM. Please check. I think the engineers will have to look into it. Why is there no voice in FM? Please, engineer, help me contact the studio engineer to find out why on the terrestrial radio they say they can't hear us. Please help me rectify that. All right? Austin, please help me rectify that. Somebody is saying they can't hear on the terrestrial radio. All right. So, Mr. Elvis, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the Political Spotlight.
Thank you, Esther.
So, what do you think about this? What would you say concerning this?
Well, it's a tough one, Esther, because we didn't see it coming. Let's start from there, at least, because I remember the last day I actually saw Ngelale on the TV. That day was when he was talking about the reduction in the number of Nigeria entourage that is going to go for COP28 or so.
Can you speak up? Can you speak up?
COP28 that is coming up in I think Qatar sometimes this year.
Yes.
So I saw him, talking about the number of persons that is going to be.
There was an issue with that.
Yes, the previous one there was an issue.
Yes.
But this one he said they have been able to reduce the number so drastically that those who doesn't have any reason to be there will not be there. I think that's the last major time I saw him on TV assignment I saw him on. But when this news broke on Saturday, some of us were like, where is this coming from? Is it really true? So being that we are in this job, we have to start looking at what is actually transpiring within the Aso Rock. But many of them you have actually mentioned, but the only one I know too well that were very glaring was that before now, most people would have known that there were issues between him and Bayo Nanuga. Because we have been seeing different correspondents, especially press correspondents, coming out of Aso Rock, where Bayo will sign one. He will came and he will also come to this TV again, or to the press and counter it. So that was not too good for the presidency, you know, especially
obviously, when
both of them are serving the same government. And you will also agree with me that Ngelale is not too new in being a spokesperson of the president. I mean, when you say competence and all that, I'm not really looking at it that way. I'm seeing that there were just this kind of rivalry, which I was trying. Both of them were like, I should be the most outstanding as far as this position is concerned. He was spokesperson to Buhari for almost all the.
Buhari or Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on public administration.
No, that was Bayo Nanuga.
I'm not talking about Bayo Nanuga. Ajuri
Ngelale
was on public administration to
yes.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
So all that period, he would have gathered all the necessary experience that is needed, to handle such duties in Aso Rock. But unfortunately, when Bayo came in, Bayo was also with the Vice President then, Akonde. The Vice President. What is his name now? The immediate Vice President that just left. Give me his name. Osinbajo. He was in Osinbajo's team, along with the other Mr. Akonde that came in from the US.
Lalo Akonde.
They were the one that were managing it. You also agree with me that during that period, Bayo, all through the period of the primaries, Bayo was not actually in the camp of the president. But how he managed to be drafted into the president's team as spokesperson became an issue. But we learned that he's closed out. Do
you think that he was just too eager, he was overzealous, he wanted to please, he wanted to be active, he wanted to be at the front?
No, definitely, Esther. When you are appointed in such position, you always want to be at the front, because that is the first. You are the spokesperson of the president.
He was given two options, though.
Yes.
It's either you be the ambassador on climate or change or whatever, that is the president's green stuff, and then, or you become the spokesperson. And when he asked that he should be given time to mull over it. By the time he returned and said he wanted to be the spokesperson, they said, if that is the case, you will have to be supervised by someone else. And he did not want that. So it's either he takes the ambassadorial role, which of course may not really put him on the limelight, he may just be working on certain projects, or he's being supervised by someone. Now, apparently during the previous administration, those persons that would have to supervise him, he would have had to be the one in charge of them. He was in charge of them. They responded to him. Like, whatever goes out comes only through him. So if you know Ajuri Ngelale, I mean, he once worked with AIT, worked with channels, yes. Right? He was a very astute presenter. I usually listen to his interview sessions at the time, and I was like, wow, this guy he holds you at the jugular. If you come on set and you're not intellectually ready, Ajuri will make you look like you are mentally porous, like you don't understand what you're coming in there for. So when he got that position, I was like, okay, this man speaks well. He seems to have an idea of what it is that he's supposed to do. And with his personality, does he look like somebody that would be power drunk? No press release will go out unless it comes through him. He isolated everybody and said he wanted to run the whole thing like from his own angle, because somebody was saying that he acted like...
No, definitely the options that were brought to his table were not options to be considered. If you are appointed as presidential spokesperson, there is nothing to be disputed about it. You are a spokesperson, you are a spokesperson. Remember, so many of them, Dr. Ruben Abati was there for Goodluck Jonathan, or for the last 4 years of Goodluck Jonathan. You see, I mean, he was able to manage this doctor from Ogun State too, who was also on this same platform, on this same office within them. Unfortunately, both of them were able to manage themselves. But if you look at it, the two options, none of them that would have worked for him. How can you, a presidential spokesperson now being supervised by somebody else? It doesn't. It's not called for. He has his team. But I mean, if there is any release that is going to come out from the presidency, he's himself and his team would have deliberated on it and release it.
Yeah.
But when he's not going to go through another person and who is going to sign it and who is going to be mentioned when it is being given to the press, who is going to sign it, and most of the things he would have actually approved. I mean, he would have written on that press statement, would have been whittled down, or some of them, and his name is going to be appended to it. That is the one that signed it. You know, in this our job, Esther, you can't even do that. Even there are sometimes when your editor goes through your script and say, okay, this thing must be out. You still find a way to tell the editor that this is even where my story is anchored around, and you still try to defend it. But I mean, this is even within the newsroom angle. Then when we're not talking of being released to the whole world, and somebody else will go and vet it before he goes to the press, he couldn't have taken such position. And if you look at the ambassador as in climate whatever, if he has also taken that, Nigerians would have also read meanings that he has been sacked or he has been redeployed, you know. So the best thing was just for this young man to say, no, I am leaving. Whether he resigned or he was sacked or whatever, we know too well that when that story broke on Saturday, that there was something behind it. And some of them are some of the things we are analyzing here now, because we have started seeing light coming in. Definitely, the presidency would have given him a soft landing and say, okay, go and resign, so that it will also create a kind of credible image to the presidency that he was not sacked, and to him too. So, I mean, the young man has told Nigerians that he has left that job for now, and that if it works well, he may come back, whatever. We are not seeing him. You know, all those are just
from
jargons.
what the sources are saying. Obviously, it's not going to be
jargons
possible
for him to come out of the job. But looking forward, what are we going to be getting out of the presidency this time now?
The question a lot of people are even asking is, who is going to take over that position?
No, definitely the position. I mean, Bayo Onanuga may have just been walked in to take over the position, and you know what that will mean to Nigerians. Look at all the press statements that have been coming from him.
Exactly.
They have all been like attacking Nigerians, and you know, nobody can speak about this government before you know Bayo Onanuga is somewhere, you know, to pull the person down and begin. Making it even personal. So you would not agree with me that what we are going to be getting now is going to be very antagonistic, and it might not work with so much with us in this industry, Esther, because when the president made Dele Alake as his spokesperson before the coming out of his cabinet, before the formation of his cabinet, I was of the opinion that Alake may not be able to handle that position so well, because he will also be ditching out. You see, there was even some statement he made already before he was called for screening by the National Assembly, that when he was, deriding Nigerians. I actually
thought that Dele Alake would be given that position.
Yes,
everybody thought so.
Everybody thought so, but I know too well he was not going to manage it too well, because these are people who are not really too sympathetic about what is going on with Nigerians.
They don't care
about it.
Their past comments have never signified that.
They just come and say the way they are reasoning it, and because they are in the system and they are enjoying it. It is not all about defending your principle at all times. It's also about getting the feelers from the street and be able to tell your principal, this is exactly what I felt from the street, and this is how these statements should go. But sometimes we see that they only take it from their principal and push it on us, whether we like it or not. By the time we react, Nigerians react, they will now go back and begin to use that statement to insult us.
According to Kenneth Okonkwo, he says, I knew Ajuri Ngelale would not last up to 2 years in office as a spokesperson for Tinubu. Can two work together except they be agreed? He left not only because of pressing medical issues affecting his immediate family, but because of terminal medical issues affecting his job. Ajuri must learn in the future that to be qualified to work for Tinubu, he must learn to publicly lie at all times and be bold enough to declare that Igbos are aliens in the Niger Delta. So again, why is tribe coming into this whole thing? Where is the concept of that coming into this whole thing?
It's a mistake if you are bringing a tribe into this.
You think so?
Absolutely.
A lot of train of thoughts actually drives towards what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying.
No, if we have to reason into tribal, as we have always done in this part of the world, tribe, we are making mistake. A spokesperson is supposed to cut across the whole of Nigeria. The whole of Nigeria is supposed to be his entity.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be, I have to favor the president because he's from my tribe. No. Speak the truth out of the presidency. Let Nigeria know. Then where we are aggrieved, come out and defend as well as usual. Not that you have to, although that's what happens most of the time, and that's what you'll be seeing now. If Bayo Onanuga is made to take over that position, that's what you'll be seeing, because he will be drafted in there. You know where we are, what we are going through in Nigeria now. Is nobody is actually too happy with with the government, Tinubu's administration now. So they need somebody like that would be very radical. But I'm telling you that radicalism will not play too well, because you are always spiting Nigerians more and igniting the anger more, because we want somebody that should have been able to pacify Nigeria and be able to tell Nigerians where the pendulum is swinging with this government. And in the next 3 years they still have. But there are also feelers that the president may come in and change his cabinet soon.
That's what I wanted to read to you now. President Bola Tinubu is on the verge of a significant cabinet reshuffle this week, a move aimed at revitalizing his administration with new perspectives and energies. A high-ranking source close to the presidency disclosed to the Sunday Tribune that his decision is intended to address the stagnant performance issues that have marred the current cabinet's tenure. Now, from his fresh trip to China, he is reported to finalize the dissolution before he departs for the upcoming United Nations General Assembly in New York. Now, the timing suggests a strategic clearing of the deck, enabling him to engage on the international stage unencumbered by domestic political uncertainties. Criticism of several ministers' performances has not gone unnoticed by the presidency. Okay, so here is a quote from the presidency, or an inside source. President Tinubu is not satisfied with the performances of a number of his ministers and is determined to show them the exit door, indicating that a new list of candidates is already prepared to take over the soon-to-be vacant posts. Speculations about whether the recent resignation of the presidential spokesperson was linked to the impending cabinet overhaul were dismissed by insiders within the presidency. Now, another question that actually got the minds of a lot of people is that this insiders, is it not a leak? If you leak anything from the presidency now, is it not considered treason? What's his name? Pidom is inside, is in Kuje prison now. So are we saying that any leak that comes out from the presidency and circulates, it means that the presidency wanted that leak out there? They want the press to talk about it. Or I don't know if you understand where my train of thought is driving at.
If it is,
because these sources are not disclosing their names, we already know the gimmick. Esther, they will just put out there whatever they'll say is a source from the presidency. They want the press to hobble on the crumb. So I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's what made this job sweet, Esther. Every media has a source in the presidency.
Okay.
Yes, and that presidency is to puncture some of these what we call breaking stories, breaking news. And when you have this, they are regarded as exclusive in the media. So
yes,
they are
obviously.
Good, they are good for the media. So the good thing is that by time they are released as according to our source in the presidency, tomorrow you will see the presidency now coming to either deny it or trying to strengthen it. That's to tell you that this source in the presidency are genuine sources, and they are actually with them, but most of them don't know whom they are, and that's why it is difficult for them to mention their name. Those names can never be mentioned, because they are doing a good job for Nigerians to actually get the truth of what is actually going on within the presidency. I was trying to remember Dr. Doyon Kukwe that worked with Dr. Ruben Abati during Goodluck Jonathan's time as president. You see, they were able to manage themselves throughout. That's what went wrong in this one. That everybody is like, I am in charge and I must be in charge, and But if you understand your role, and again, why even polarizing it so much? We are talking of just speaking to the press. Why bringing in so many persons? Of the same profession? It doesn't really cover. Those are some of the things we are even looking at. Now, it's not just coming to tell Nigerians that I want to reshuffle cabinet. Nigerians are not too bothered whether they are performing. Those that are not performing, with them off. But reduce the flamboyancy in your cabinet. Reduce it. Reduce this profligacy that Nigerians are complaining about. When Nigerians cannot feed, one minister going to the office will be having about 5 SUVs that are serviced by Nigerian taxpayers' money. That's what we are talking about. It's not just coming to reduce it. To reshuffle it now. Reduce the flamboyancy that is associated with Nigerian ministers. It is too bad. Executive arm of government have only 2 persons that are elected in the executive arm, and that is the president and the vice president.
True.
Constitutionally, every other person in the executive are appointed. So if you are appointing your ministers and you cannot give them directives on, these are areas that you must not go, it means that the presidency itself, the executive arm, has failed. So whether he reshuffles his cabinet 10 times before he leaves office in the first 4 years is not an issue to Nigerians. What majorly is an issue to us is that the flamboyancy in the presidency, in the executive arm, should be drastically reduced, so that we can now begin to use them as example to the legislators and say, look at, even the presidency have reduced their own. Legislators that we don't know how much they earn, we don't know how much they take home and all that, and all the flamboyancy around them too, will now begin to use the executive as yardstick to give them directives to that. If the executive can do this, you should also do this.
Mr. Elvis, apparently the reshuffle may be seen as a return. There is a speculation from the sources within the presidency, as disclosed to the media, that we may see a return of familiar faces, as a former minister from the Buhari administration is rumored to be among those considered for a ministerial role.
Buhari's administration in this nation.
So that
Which
means
minister
the president is fulfilling the mandate of I continue from where you stopped. Well, these are speculations. We don't know yet until we see those reshuffling. Yeah. You know, this cabinet reshuffle, we've been hearing about it since.
Yes.
But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Then there was an whatever that to indicate, the performance of ministers. People can actually tell.
Yes.
So let's see if that's going to possibly take place.
But you also give it to Tinubu's administration. It's a strong departure from Buhari's administration. Buhari don't believe in reshuffling of cabinets. You remember when we were talking about removal of the armed forces, the staff, the chief of staffs and all that then. So he never talked about it until he became so glaring that these people need to go, Buratai and his gang and his group. So even his ministers, he stayed with them all through. But this one, within 1 year, he's talking of reshuffling his cabinet, where it means, he's listening to, in that angle, listening to the feelers. But like I said, Esther, reshuffling is not the issue. He should work on, bringing down the tempo of his ministers. It's too much. The ministers are living too large, and it's telling on the meager resources that we are borrowing on Nigerians. Instead of the people feeling it, only the few people that are appointed by him are just feeling it. And look at the number of the persons in the executive arm of government. Look at the number. By the time you have a minister, the minister will begin to have chief of staff, begin to have his chief press secretary, begin to have all retinue of staff, special assistants, senior special assistant, a minister. Why don't we remove all this? A ministerial position is not supposed to. You are called for service.
There are serious pressing issues that need to be looked into within President Bola Tinubu's cabinet. I remember there was an interview that Ajuri actually had, and he said the president does not sleep. He said the president has the plight of Nigerians at heart. He barely sleeps. The Nigerians should please open their eyes and be patient to see that the president is working in their interest. But if you say all of that and realistically that's not what is happening, how would the people trust you? Do you know another tax has been imposed? In fact, before we go there, all right, because I'm laughing I don't know how to explain my laugh.
It's better
it's
to
a
laugh.
strata because I know what talk.
Hard, one will die.
Mr. Elvis, if you want to, you can't use what do you call e-hailing cab right now for anything. I'm telling you.
With this,
can't.
Esther, I was telling you that I bought fuel for 1,200 to come to the studio this evening.
Do you
Only
know
10 liters, 12,000.
You can imagine. Do you know domestic flight is now about between 180 to 200,000, and people can no longer pay for it.
And the roads,
meanwhile, the roads are not
secured.
safe. They're not secure.
That's another issue.
200,000 for one individual domestic flight. In fact, I heard from Lagos to Abuja in some cases 650. 500.
And the trade.
We are not going to Ghana.
Rail system that would have actually, come in and relieve that. How many states in Nigeria are serviced by the rail transport?
Mr. Elvis, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
That was why I started this program with what I said. The president needs to understand this is not about widening the tax net and reducing the purchasing power. I think he needs to revisit those words he used during his campaign. I don't understand.
Now they're not working.
Because it's not viable.
And the president should also note that the cabinet he has, that work for him in Lagos State as governor, is beyond Nigeria.
It's beyond.
And again, Esther, you also have to look at it. When they left the president's cabinet, since 2007, when he was governor of Lagos, when they left his cabinet, what have they been doing?
What have they been doing?
Have you heard of them? Now he just went and dust them from wherever they were in their coven, and I brought them to come and be heading sensitive positions. Minister, like the Minister for Finance, where did you hear of him after
Exactly.
he left Lagos State Government Cabinet as Minister, Commissioner for Finance? Did you hear of him? That somebody now became Minister of Finance and in charge of the economy. Then look at the CBN governor. I didn't hear of him before he was brought in to become CBN governor. And even look at the man he has made the Minister for Budget and Economy Planning. You go and look at how did he fare so well in his state as governor of Jigawa State before he now brought him in. And look at this Minister for the...
When it comes to job employment, it's the same thing. You look at where the tribe the person comes from, or what favor the person has done for you in the past.
Who introduced
and then
him,
the person that has the capacity, the experience,
Yes.
the educational prerequisite is put aside. How then do you want to have a healthy administration or a healthy company? It's just like the owner of this company having to employ persons based on where he comes from, and then they're not showing the competence, they're not showing the fact that they merit whatever employment opportunity you give to them. Mr. Elvis, let's even consider the situation, this particular situation again. For example, I looked at a certain circumstance. I think that was last week. It was on X. Something happened, and what happened was the fact that at Adeniran Gunsanya, they said somebody shot somebody in broad daylight and took his chain.
Yeah,
It's beginning to happen.
Yes, I saw that story.
It's beginning to happen, Mr. Elvis.
Yes.
So where does it leave us at this point?
No, those are some of the things we are talking about now, Esther. Crime in any form is not going to be encouraged. It can never be encouraged. But crime is crime. But another thing I want to also look at is Nigeria. Even if we are talking about hunger and all that, doesn't have that criminal tendencies, attitude, character in him. Will not go, begin to terrorize others because of hardship. So, but the government must make the environment, livable for people, whether in provision of those basic things that the Nigerians need, and also securing Nigerians. You understand? This day, like we saw the one that happened in Orile last time with the BROT bus. Before this, about 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, we saw the Orile zone. Some guys just rushed into the BRT bus and begin to rob the people inside the BRT and vandalize the BRT. It has already started happening, but the Lagos State government should come up. Think of how to secure Lagosians so well, and Nigeria in general. The president must talk of that. Then again, make the environment livable for people so that people that's what we are. Edo election is coming up now, Esther. In the next 2 weeks. By this time, next 2 weeks, Edo election has come and gone. That's why we are calling on their own candidate now in Edo State. Speak to the people of Edo, speak to Edo people what you want to give to them. Not the person that is not in the ballot now campaigning for you, gagging you off from the media. These are the things. When President Tinubu was coming, he never spoke to any media house.
Exactly.
They were just doing their rallies all about where they were, pulling down other political parties' candidates. That's not what we are talking about.
Mr. Elvis, the Independent National Electoral Commission has broken its silence on the timing of the result declaration in the early hours of March 1, 2023. Now, you know that there were concerns and criticisms from some Nigerians over the announcement of President Bola Tinubu's victory by 2 a.m. in March 2023. Well, several months after, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu has clarified that the country is treated. Now, I need you to help me explain this. That the country is treated as a single constituency during presidential elections. You know that after he came out to tell us precisely that after they made confessions as to, yes, there were some irregularities, but that the elections went well as they had planned and that nothing happened. Well, now, you know that they did not tell us why there was a glitch. And also, people were asking questions. Why did you come early in the morning when people were sleeping to announce results? People said you came and announced results like a thief in the night.
Nicodemus.
Okay. So now some people, because of these reactions and concerns and criticisms, INEC Chairman Mahmood had to respond, because as of Friday, according to what INEC said, this same INEC, they said fake misleading news affect our conduct of free and fair elections. That's what INEC said. This was just on Friday, that the fake and misleading news from the media hinders them from having free and fair elections. I don't know how. Well, now he's actually clarifying that Nigeria as a country is treated as a single constituency during presidential elections, requiring a detailed and meticulous process of collating results from polling units towards local government, states, and the national level. This process, he explained, involves waiting for 36 returning officers from across the country to present their results in Abuja as required by law. Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman Rotimi Oyekomi further clarified that the Constitution or Electoral Act does not specify a particular time for declaring election results. So that's basically what he's saying. So he said that the process is time consuming and requires patience and understanding from the public. He noted that the chairman had to wait for all returning officers to present their results, a process that took time due to the distant locations of some officers. INEC spokesman said that the delay led to claims that the commission declared results in the middle of the night, but pointed out that even in the 2015 presidential elections, results were declared around 4 a.m. by former INEC chairman Professor Atahiru Jega. Once again, the Constitution does not prescribe a specific time for declaring election results. We understand the concerns of the public, but we assure them that the Commission follow the law and ensure the integrity of the process.
The time he declared the result, Esther, and where we are now is no longer official to Nigerians. We have put it behind us. All we know was that INEC in that election was a failure. Esther, you will ask.
Do you think it's because of the upcoming Edo elections that INEC is making this clarification?
I'm even seeing him now, coming to start talking because Edo election is coming in. I mean, Professor Mahmoud Jega. I mean, Mahmoud Yakub. Where has he been ever since all this sound that Nigerians are talking about INEC failed? Esther, you will now ask, where is the whole money that was released to INEC to conduct this election, 300 and something billion that was released to them? And again, you will now ask, where is the role of technology in this electoral matter? You are talking about returning officer leaving the state where they supervise the election and flying to Abuja before a result can be announced. When you can mount a big screen in Abuja, and everybody from all the 36 states will now be sending in their result, and it will be showing over there. Esther, we interview people right here in Lagos, in all over Nigeria, and we'll be talking to them, and they'll be talking to us. We'll see ourselves. Where is the technology that INEC promised Nigerians that they were going to use in that election until a returning officer flies to Abuja before a result can be announced? That's a failure on their part. We don't even want to hear this. We have accepted the result they announced, and we are moving on with it. And now that the rain is beating the whole roof now, it's not segregated. I mean, the Nigerians are both those that supported them and those that didn't support them. Now we are feeling it now. Do they have a separate filling station? Do they have a separate market? Absolutely no. So now coming to tell us this one at this last minute that we are even putting their matter behind us is an absolute
That's what
failure.
Is making me wonder. So what could have happened?
We don't need it. We don't even need it.
Why are you coming to explain this? We've moved on.
A screen can be mounted in the headquarters.
We're trying to grapple.
We saw South Africa election that day. Nobody was talking about flying in. We saw America election that the screen will be there, the officers will be there, then the returning officer from whatever state will send in the result, and it will be right there. Everybody will see it. Nigeria will be seeing the screen, and we'll be updating it, from hour to hour, minute to hour. Why do we need to fly in?
Beyond anything, is it about when the results were announced that was the crux of the matter? The crux of the matter that I think made a lot of Nigerians not to trust the process was the fact that
there was no result in the IRF portal.
In the IRF portal, as they had promised.
They had
promised that we will see the results real time, and we saw results for state assembly and national assembly. We saw that. So why was it that it was only the presidential on that particular day? 3 different elections were conducted on the same day. The other 2 did not have issues. It was the presidential
election only.
That was what caused the speculation that there was something underhand at play. That was the clarification that Nigerians are expecting them to give. So I don't know what could have brought up this particular explanation.
Put this matter behind us. We are, everybody is facing the administration of President Tinubu headlong now, and we've
entered it now. 1 year, a few months. We're already into it. There is no you can't change anything.
The next 2.5 years that is left or whatever, Nigeria will still survive it. So INEC should just keep their silence. We are not interested in whatever explanation they are giving to Nigerians any longer. And begin to, if they really want to be sincere to themselves, they should be looking at how to make the next elections, to be very clear and credible before Nigerians, and find a way to start defending their name. And again, I don't even see anything that will come out of Mahmoud's regime as INEC chairman.
Would you think he would still be INEC chairman at that time?
If he's talking of reshuffling his cabinet, he should also be talking of reshuffling some of the heads of the MDAs. MDAs.
When you're talking of
Yes.
reshuffling, wouldn't you put people who would do the needful for you?
Yeah, well, let us even see that some of these persons that we are too used to are eased out. Somebody
Okay.
like Mahmoud himself, has been taken out of INEC. Because
Alright.
I don't see what that man will give Nigerians any longer that will make Nigerians to believe that he's credible enough to be in that position. We suffered
Alright.
enough from him.
So, in other words, let's look at one of the main reasons that made me give the talk I gave earlier in the show today. One of the APC chieftains actually had to speak. He had to respond based on what Ajuri Ngelale and a couple of aides of the president responded to, as to the fact that the president is very hardworking and that he doesn't sleep. Let's take a listen to him.
By choice. A lot of them, and I too, fought and struggled until we got ourselves into self-rule. Little did we know that a time will come when a supposed Democrat or a democratically elected president in President Bola Tinubu of his party APC will be so unfeeling, insensitive, mean to the Nigerian people. As at 2015, when they took power, the price of PMS in the country was 79 naira. And the exchange rate was rovering around 199 to the dollar. Can you, in your mind, conceive of what could we have been buying as citizens of this country, apart from their own profligacy and their waste in government, that could have warranted us now having to be paying almost 1,000 in some places, officially over 800, in other places 900, within such a short time? And what could we have been guzzling that would bring our exchange rate from about 200 to the dollar to 1,600? You know what they're doing? They wake up in the morning and say, okay, mirror, mirror on the wall, what else can we do to make the Nigerians extremely angry and make their lives hard? Taxes. Mirror, mirror on the wall, are they crying hard enough? No. Let us add increase in fuel. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, is their life miserable enough? Not exactly. Let us increase inflation. That's what they've done. And, with every sense of soberness, because we own this country together and we all love this country, we are forced to scream, lest they wreck the ship of state. Our country has a very large population of unemployed people and a very young population with a median age hovering around 18 or sometimes even less, depending on the stats you are looking at. And if you then imagine what they are contending with, and you see the kind of lackadaisical, wasteful manner, to the extent that you say you are transforming, you are buying jets for yourself, you are buying Escalade's bulletproof for yourself, you're spending money like it's going out of fashion, you're doing very gangling and dandling, you're speaking a lot of off-curve conversation. Your spokesperson are just talking for the fact that they are sitting down there and they're getting cheap money from the government.
Okay.
They are speaking against us, the faces of the people they are meant to be leading. And we say very clearly, this mistake must end soon. The
Right.
earliest time for its end is the next election. And by the grace of God, if we hold our breath and hold our energy and just manage to survive the ones that are not finished by hunger and starvation and insecurity that has become a major issue in the country,
Right.
we will just say, pack your bag and go and never again.
All right, you just finished listening to Segun Shomi, one of the PDP chieftains, via a monitored television program there, speaking on the supposed policy implementations of this administration and how he thinks that the administration is not doing what they are saying and possibly imposing more tax, more hardship on Nigerians with the inconsistent policy decision making. Also, the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has also lent his voice. He warned that the proposed value-added tax increase by President Bola Tinubu would consume the citizens. The former vice president said it was unfortunate that the president and his aides prefer to punish Nigerians through taxes and charges. He decried that instead of searching for ways to improve the lives of Nigerians who are already overburdened by his government's hard economic policies, the president seeks ways to fund his extravagant excesses. And so So he says that the increase in VAT is set to become the blazing inferno that will consume the very essence of our people. So he resolved to raise the VAT rate from 7.5% to 10%, even as the NNPCL has announced a soaring PMS price increase at the pump. This move unveils a new era of regressive impunity policies, and its impact is destined to deepen the domestic cost of living crisis and exacerbate Nigeria's already fragile economic growth. So, Mr. Elvis Elimele, at this juncture, at this point, we've done protest. We protest. They say now, wahala. You do if you try, you do too much. They say you galvanize. You have committed treason. Your social media now, they are tracing people's accounts. It's nepotistic, bigotry, and sentimental comments that are there. You cannot talk. You cannot complain. Everywhere, sharp, boo, 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 boo. What do we do?
Well, I think it's just a big mistake because you cannot take those ones out of democracy. Democracy, you must protest to get the best. You must talk to get the best. And in democracy, you must do check and balances of all the arms of government to get the best. Because why are you doing this? Because this government does not belong to them. The government of democracy belongs to the people. So the people who owns this government, the Nigerians that owns this government must ask questions at all times regarding the policies, their own policies and their program for Nigerians. And if they are not favorable, Nigerians have that right to protest. So whatever that is going on here, whether they are talking about increment in the VAT and tighten our bets and give Nigerians more strangulations, when it gets to that junction, Nigerians will also speak to us to them that 7.5 already, the economy is like this, Nigerians cannot feed. Then by the time you raise it again, what do you think will happen? And when you are raising it across board. Everybody that is involved in paying of VAT, we have to check up whatever services they render to the people. Are we still talking? Are we still going to be talking about such thing now with what we are going through?
Exactly.
So the PDP chieftain, Chief Showmi that spoke, he spoke well, but I also have an advice for him too. His party, the Nigerians are looking on to, as one of the major opposition party, also have their own issues. They should go home, go back to drawing board and think of how to resolve whatever is, lingering among them, dividing that party, setting that party apart, not doing what they are supposed to do, so that they can be a better formidable force come 2027. Not just, telling Nigerians that they are going to make sure that this present administration is removed through the ballot. If the home is not well organized, they cannot come out as a formidable force to, give Nigeria a credible government. So exactly. PDP itself has problem. If it is Wike that is the problem of PDP, and the whole of PDP that was not formed by Wike, PDP cannot make a pronouncement on Wike's issue, it's a shame on PDP. Do you understand? I don't expect their immediate former presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to be the spokesperson of PDP. PDP as a party has executive. If the executive is not doing well, what is waiting for them? If it is the person that is there, Ambassador Damangu is just there as an acting chairman when Iyochayu was removed, because he was the deputy to him. Okay, be acting till we have our convention, because that time they said it was too close to the election and all that. Now the election has come and gone. What are they waiting for? They should do a convention and bring in proper leadership of that party so that they can be properly focused on how to give Nigeria the credible opposition to this government, and let Nigeria see if they can accept them in 2027 and vote for them. But as it is now, the umbrella, as I'm talking to you, Esther, is torn. So they have to think of how to patch up the umbrella so that Nigerians can be brought into it if it is possible for them to have the way forward in 2027.
Well, it's quite interesting because, again, if we look at all the angle through which we want to analyze this matter, it almost feels like it's, I don't know, I don't want to use the word impossible, but everything is possible.
No.
We need to have faith. I think that's one of the basic reasons that is important for us, because Mr. Elvis,
is it
like
having
I told
faith
you,
in this government or having faith in Nigeria?
we're having faith that somehow the president will see through what is going on.
No.
People feel like there's a hedge around him that makes him not to see beyond where he currently is sitting. Because if Ajuri, for example, during a particular interview said that the president does not sleep, he's trying to look at how to, make things better for the people, then what are we seeing here? Does it seem like that's what it is? Because if the president is not sleeping and the country too is not sleeping, things are worse. Then are you awake and not doing anything? Are you awake and that you're going through what you call a shadow spell?
It depends on what you are awake for, Esther. If you are awake and getting the negative report from the street, I mean that it is the opposition that is causing all this, you will not add to ameliorate Nigerians' problem, and all your being awake is zero. Because what they are feeding the president with is that everything you are seeing on the street is the opposition that is organizing. So,
like, okay, any negative report is being sponsored by the opposition.
By the opposition.
So it's not really what it is.
It's not what the president what the president is hearing. It's not what. So that if that is what is awake to hear, it's irrelevant.
Can they do a survey? Go to the street somehow, or use a mail to something. Just use something to or even come on social media. I think X is one platform where you get to know how people feel about issues real time.
They know the truth. The spokespersons around him, that have kept him, that he should not shielded him away from Nigerians, know the truth. But because they just want to keep their job, because these are sycophants, they are not Nigerians who are actually there to do the bidding of Nigerians. They want to keep their jobs. They will not tell the president the truth. The man who spoke the truth that day, this senator from Borno State, what is his name now, that was eased out of his position that day?
Which one?
The one that was
that talked about the budget pattern.
No. I mean, that was Ningi that talked about
it.
The one from Borno State, I've just forgotten his name now. There was the Senate leader,
Senate Chief Whip.
Chief Whip, yes. Ndume. That was that. Did you not hear what he said? He said he has made effort to reach the president severally,
and he cannot access.
And look at even his position, Chief Whip from his party cannot reach the president. You know what that means? So that's to tell you that even if he's awake throughout the night and he's not getting the desired message that he's supposed to get from Nigerians, it's irrelevant.
So are we saying that there is a certain group of people
who will tell him the truth, they are shitting them off?
So they hedge him, and then certain persons will not have access to him,
so that he will not hear the truth. And you are telling me the president's awake throughout the night? Who is he awake for? To hear the negative news? About the opposition. These are caused by opposition. When Nigerians are languishing, Nigerians cannot feed.
So you mean all the media outlets are being supposed that whatever information is being reeled out there is the opposition sponsored?
Yes.
So he doesn't watch television.
Even part of what we are discussing here now, if they want to analyze what we are saying here, they say it's an opposition radio.
No, it's not an opposition radio.
That is what they would say.
It's the reality.
Because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. All those people that that are appointed by the president to come and serve him can never feed him with the truth. That is why we must continue to tell Nigerians the truth, so that you see, sometimes they come to refute some of the things we say.
Yes.
That means they are hearing.
They listen. They hear
some of those things. They come to refute it. But for them to actually tell the president, this is what we are talking about. Look at when late Dora Akunyili was the minister for, when he was the minister for information during late Yaradua's regime.
Umaru
Yaradua's government. He said, "Where is my president? I need to be able to explain to Nigerians where my president is, because that's one of the duties of my office." Then he began to have problem with the who is who in
the government house,
government of
Aso,
because she opted to speak the truth. That's what is happening there. At the end of the day, they were like, "Oh, why are you coming to say this publicly? Must you shade everything in secrecy?" When we already knew that time that this man was already a vegetable.
But these are persons that are meant to advise him. For example, you have very close cabinet associates, those who are always with you almost 24 hours. I'm sure, like your chief of staff is one who prepares your itinerary.
They are politicians, and how did they get to that level? The chief of staff you just made mention of has been in the house for almost like four tenures before he became speaker under the same party. How do you not think he will tell the president the truth when he's trying to savage the interest of his party? They're not talking about savage the interest of Nigeria. They're talking about the savage the interest of their party, so that they continuously remain in power. So you can't get the truth from such person, because he's appointed to come and do the bidding of the party. They look at people who will speak for them, and not people who will analyze the situation of Nigeria. Udume spoke and he was removed. Ningi spoke, he was removed. Have you seen it? These are just two small lights trying to come in and give us the truth. And the next thing, they clamp down then. Then have you heard any other person talking again?
Even the public that talks or anybody that spills or exposes
the protesters, where are they
put
now?
them in kuje. Long. I've never seen our judicial system so swift. They were so swift.
In giving judgment.
They took them. Yes, they took them to court immediately.
That's the issue. And professional body. I mean, all some of the professional bodies, that we look onto. Some of them are no longer talking. Look at even the civil society organizations.
The NBA too.
Look at even the so-called formidable National Association of Nigeria Students. When we were students, NANS, that we were confronting the military government. Today, NANS is divided. Look at the statement that came out from NANS this week. In fact, some are saying we are going to protest. Some are saying we are not going to protest.
Some I read on Friday. One said on the 15th of this month. Now we're hearing that they said they never said any of that.
These are to tell you that the government has so settled some kind of people to bring divide and rule into most of the organizations that would
Mr. Elvis is even going beyond all these organizations are meant to represent, civil interests, represent the interests of the people. It has gone. I have never seen this country, right, tribalistically, as in terms of tribe, the division in tribe. Yes. Before, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you it's just Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. Right now, the division is between almost all tribes.
Yes.
Why?
It started in the election.
Why?
When people were removed from the queue, physically removed from the queue violently, because they want to exercise their civic responsibility, their duties that they own this country, that to vote. Somebody comes and says, leave the queue if you are not voting for a social party. And today you tell me that party that now eventually became the government, that formed the government of the day, will not protect the interest of those people that work for
Mr.
them.
Elvis, they're no longer moral values.
No
Social vices are on the rise. Children of 13, 14, 15 are committing heinous crimes.
Yes,
as of last week, there was a 23-year-old young boy who had been caught because he had abducted and killed three ladies.
You see,
and it's more than that.
Before the one that exposed
before
him,
this one that exposed
his sister killed another one, before this one.
And then when you go on X, rather than addressing the fact that the crime is on the rise, something is fundamentally wrong. What they're looking at is the tribe of where the young man came from. I even read on X where somebody was saying, how come some Yorubas are protecting this young man? Instead of, why are they not protecting him? Why are they putting him out there and lambasting him like other people are doing? For a crime. Yeah. Does crime have origin?
It doesn't have origin.
Does it have boundary? I don't understand, Mr. Elvis. It has gotten to that point that there is a social division. There's a deliberate polarization on the attention of people.
The government encouraged it because it serves their interests. By this time next year, there will be coalitions, alignment, and all that. You'll be hearing more of, this one is going for presidency. They want to. This is the only thing that gives them that opportunity to make sure that what they are looking for, they get it. Divide Nigeria more, so that when I throw in my own and I support it because they have so much to throw around.
Yes.
Then I'll get the desired support.
It's quite unfortunate that we're going through this. I wouldn't lie to you, and this is not a time for us to be experiencing such things. We have gotten intertwined in every segment, in every sector. I would say that we have gotten so intertwined that to separate is actually quite difficult now. We should question our government and hold them accountable and not be divided amongst ourselves or fight ourselves or throw stones at ourselves. That's a distraction that is required from making you face what is currently going on. Hunger does not know where you come from. Hunger has no hierarchy. It has no status. It has no tribe. Insecurity is not looking at where you come from or where you're going. Insecurity is affecting everybody. The hunger is affecting everybody. So why don't we address that menace and hold our leaders accountable to us? That's basically what it is. The president is going to reshuffle his cabinet. Are we going to say reshuffle that will be effective? That is, they know how to hold their offices. Are we going to say we're going to stop seeing miscommunication from the presidency? We're going to stop seeing leaks from the presidency? Because the case of Ajuri Ngelale, there are a lot of things saying that maybe if he was from a certain tribe that would not have experienced this.
Well, he was even fortunate that he is from the Niger Delta, and he was fortunate that he has served to government now. What can we say about it? He's gone, and The next one that is going to be thrown up by the presidency, we are going to analyze such person here, Esther, and know whether he's coming to do their bidding or he's coming to do that of Nigerians. But let me tell you, they cannot put anybody that will tell them the truth.
All right, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number, I really do hope we're good now. Please network cooperate with us. The WhatsApp number or chat line is 0817 1756338. 081-717-56338. That's the WhatsApp number. You can also call it too as well. I mean, if that would be 903 903, that's the number for you to call. And the WhatsApp number is 081-717-56338. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you? Hello? Hello?
I'm hearing you. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. Name and location, please.
My name is Peter. I'm calling from.
Your name is Peace.
Peace.
All right, go ahead, ma.
Well, I love listening to your analysis, especially the get to have the video.
Yes, thank you.
What we are seeing in Nigeria is that this tribalism is too much. They don't even put people in place that will know what to do. The one they put is the one that will fit them with what they want to hear, not what people say. I don't know what people. They know this man Tinubu be from the beginning. When he was a governor in Lagos State, he was taxing people up and down, taxing. That was what he survived when he created LTDA.
Who had 3 deputy governors?
When he was governor,
the president had 3 deputy governors when he was governor.
He was changing them from one to another.
To another.
Yes. So that's to tell you the kind of. It's not a tolerant person.
Well, what people say?
Hello, ma. Can you put your mouth on your speaker? You fade in. Sometimes you come in and then you go out. Are you using an earpiece to talk?
It's the waste of the network.
Okay. All right.
So people knew him from the beginning. He didn't hide his plans concerning Nigeria. He came to telephone. He bought every aspect. Nobody that did not know that this man used money to close everybody's mouth. Any little thing, he closed everybody's mouth. Everything about this man, I'm telling you, is fake. He's a scammer. He scams us in Nigeria. He scams everything. I don't like the way things are going.
Okay, is it the president's fault, or is it those that he appointed to head certain sectors? Because again, the president has said he cannot be everywhere. That's why we have governors. That's why we have ministers.
He did them with instruction. That was what he did in Lagos. We are in Lagos, so we knew what happened. If you want to tell him this, he will remove you. He doesn't want it. People will work for him as he wants it. These people he puts there. That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for calling. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Name and location, please.
Yeah, this is Olufemi from Oluti.
Olufemi from where, sir?
From Southern side.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what I know pertaining to this government, to this Tinubu of a thing, is that
he's not a thing, sir. He's a man. He's our president.
Okay. Sorry for you saying that. Yes, what I understand by him is that he doesn't like it. There's no how you can beat him. He knows how to play politics. He's the one that divided everybody against each other. He knows how to do that. If he wants to go somewhere, he will destabilize that place. He will not want that place to stand. Not until when he comes with his own interest. So forget even the people that is bringing in. They cannot work for Nigerians. They can't work for the masses. They will work for him. And they work for the party. So the only thing we can do is that we don't know. We have to be patient so that at least by God's grace by 2027 we remove him. So that's just it. Even changing the government, changing the resolve the cabinet doesn't help. It will not be of help to us because they will not help us. They will not help the masses. They are not for the masses. That's the way. May God be with us.
Thank you, sir. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number for you to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name?
Good evening, Esther Wachuku.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Mr. Evie.
Good evening,
God
sir.
bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Sunday once more. Hello?
I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
God bless you. My name is Peter Ustifo. I'm calling from Abanoja in Ikosu.
All right, sir.
First of all, they resigned Ajuri Ngelale.
Yes.
I think we should stop speculating about the reasons for his resignation so that we don't heat up the polity unnecessarily.
It's not speculation, sir. These are sources from the presidency. What we talked about wasn't speculation. These are what the sources from the presidency allow the press to have access to. So nobody is speculating. We're not heating up the polity, please.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Maybe I did not use the term very well.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
this a conspiracy theory?
It's not a conspiracy theory. These are what the sources released to the press. Almost all the press lines had it.
Certain reasons that may not be so
No,
clear
this
to
is the
us.
conversation. Whenever these exclusives come out, we talk about it. It's not a speculation. We're not heating up the polity. If you check your papers right now, it's all over. So it's not like it's a speculation. It's what the presidency source said.
I'm sorry
All
if
right.
I've used anything that has annoyed you personally.
Okay. No, it's not
Let us take it on
personal.
a special value
All right.
that he resigned based on his health ground.
Yes.
Maybe later we may know the actual reason.
The
If there's
presidency
any
has
actual
revealed the
reason. But I
sources
know
as to
he
why.
He will continue to support his government, no matter what.
No, he never
Because
he never
started
denied
from
support,
Buhari's
not supporting
administration.
the government. He never said anything bad about the government. He never did.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
So let us just see that way. And then for the reshuffling of the cabinet, maybe as we are thinking, come October 1st this year, I think that one is commendable. And
Okay.
then for saying that why should he take any minister or ministers from the last administration? It may not be wrong because all the ministers were not bad. Like somebody like Fashola now could be
Okay.
reappointed again to serve in this present government. We know what the party played during the last election, who the party played for APC and Tinubu in particular. So that is that.
All right.
Then we are still appealing, I'm still appealing to the government that please, there's no food in Nigeria at the moment. People are dying of starvation and hunger. Please, the border should be actually open so that we will see food and see cheap. Then for the petroleum industry, please, Dangote and the federal government should come clear, in respect of this total deregulation and of course the PIA, that is Petroleum Industrial
Industry
Act.
Act.
Let it be fully implemented
All
so
right.
that we know where we are going.
Thank you.
All the refineries should be working very well.
Thank
at the
you.
moment,
Thank you
especially
very
the four
much.
refineries.
All right. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello. Hello. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Name and location,
Israel
please.
Calling from Ikorodu.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
So we are just discussing. We are talking a lot because this no help for now. They are saying that they're going to remove whether 2027, even the 2027 is going to favor this man. So we are just complaining.
Okay.
Let's stop complaining. Let's focus the reality. Let's focus what is on ground because I don't know why. I don't know this thing. I don't know why. I don't know whether.
But we're discussing the reality now. We're discussing the reality now. What do you want us to do?
I don't know. Let's just forget about discussion. Let's focus on Nigeria.
Okay.
Let's forget about anything because the issue of this Nigeria, the enemy of Nigeria is INEC. Number one, INEC. Second one, NMPC. The third one, EFCC. The fourth one is judiciary. We're just living it. Those the people that are the enemy of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling, all right? 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp, I can't do... I don't know what is wrong, why we cannot get WhatsApp messages. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Joshua. I'm calling you from Matogo.
Hello.
I greet your guest.
All right. Good
Hello,
evening.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
I greet your guest.
Good evening, sir.
Esther.
Sir?
Nigeria is built on a faulty foundation. If you can hear that, can a man want to build house and he now cut plantain wood and put underneath the foundation? That is exactly what Nigeria is built. Nigeria is built in a faulty foundation. What I mean is this: why is it that whenever our election is approaching, you will find this our political appointment leaders going to appointees going to Chatham House? Have we asked question? What are we in connection with the white people, the people that colonize us? So let me say something. We are all just making noise. All these things.
We're making noise, Kwa.
Yes.
Hey.
We are just making noise. The issue is that the destiny of Nigeria lies in our hands. Whenever we are tired from their shit, we will rise up and take it up. Because that is my own take on my own position. Nigeria is built on a faulty foundation. That is what we're saying. Let's just talk.
All right.
They are doing what they are asked to do.
All right, thank you. Let's take more calls. All right, 0700 903 903 903. I will take some messages for now. Hello? Can you hear me, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir. Good evening. How are you? All right, thank you. Let's take more
So I
calls.
want to comment on this issue on the top of few of the topics.
Okay, sir.
Subjects and
All right.
topics here.
What's your name, though?
I'm Sonny.
All right, Sonny. Location?
Casablanca.
All right, Sonny, go ahead.
So the issue of Nigeria is almost, in my own point of view, is practically irredeemable. Nigeria is irredeemable. Yeah, in all aspects of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that has spent 64 years since independence, but we cannot boast of one single thing that we have really concretized for the 64 years. We never concretize our oil sector. Neither do we have roads that we say that we have built all our roads, both rural and urban roads. We don't boast of pipe-borne water. We cannot boast of anything, not power supply. Some countries that newly getting independent are better organized. They are 100 years ahead of us in terms of human development and so on and so forth. But Nigeria is where it is. Every 4 years, since the so-called democracy came in again, every 4 years, we go ahead and do what we want to do. Those the Yakubus and their likes will also present to us what they feel like, what they have been paid for. So for those who are talking about this man who is in power, I believe that he will, unless God decide otherwise, because man propose and God dispose, as we say, unless it's the will of God. But if not, if he's alive and as he's managing his health to France and all that, he's going to he constantly taking his treatment, taking care of his health and all that. If he's alive by 2027, he will still be the president. And the pain, the agony will still continue for Nigerians. For those who I congratulate those of them who mock some of us who voted otherwise, some of us who said then, vote wisely. If you vote wrongly, what is coming to happen? Buhari will be a tent. And someone who is alive, who saw Buhari presidency from 2015 to 2023, and still decide to vote same party, same people who were with Buhari. You cannot blame the man who is there now.
All right.
The person is just a typical fool.
I need to take more calls, okay? I need to take more calls. Thank you so much. All right. Hello? Hello? Yes, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Yes, good evening.
Hello, my name is Promise. I'm calling from Magbayo.
All right, Promise. Go ahead.
My own, I just want to advise Nigeria. If you are listening to me, we should learn how to love one another.
Yes.
Don't give devil a chance so that we can hate ourselves, begin to fight ourselves.
Exactly.
Don't give devil a chance. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, let us learn how to love ourselves.
Exactly.
Because I'm talking to you, I work in Ladi, but something happened the first day. A small boy produced a car. Everybody was just looking video this thing. You and I know that these people have God has already blessed them. They give them talent. They are just here compromising, which is very, very bad.
All right.
These people, they are the China in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Let us learn how to live in peace. We live in the same house. We go to the same school. We go to the same market. We go to the same church.
Exactly.
Please,
Thank you.
That is number one. Number two is that people are saying 2027. Which next election, Tinubu is going to win. It's a lie. Fake lie. Back lie. Because people are afraid not to collect money because they know that people is going to monitor the election. You come out and do your part.
All right.
Because
okay.
I know people outside Yoruba, nobody's going to vote for Tinubu. Go take it or leave it.
All right.
You
Thank
come and
you.
do your part. Don't just sit here. You say, I know that Tinubu is going to win. That's lie.
Thank you so much for calling, okay? Godfrey Abazie, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the Political Spotlight. Hello, Godfrey. Godfrey, you're on now. You can go ahead. I had to pick you down. I didn't want you to be cut off. Go ahead, please. All right, 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. In the process, let me take some messages. Good evening, Esther and the guest in the studio. My name is De Ethanol from Ota. Your guest is right in his take that this administration labels all blame on the opposition party. Why do you think? Okay, I'm not going to complete this one. Good evening, VOP. Your guest was emphasizing the president's cabinet not performing and living flamboyantly, leaving the president whose flamboyance is unprecedented. The truth of the matter is that what happens with the head will affect the body. May God grant us a good leader in Jesus' name. Harry Ogada from Pangur. Thank you so much, Harry, for that message. Okay, this person also says, all right, at Esther, could this be the job Agbajue you guys are waiting for? Just curious. Wahala, what to do? Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello? Hello, Kingsman, I can hear you. Hello? Hello? All right, Kingsman picked, but he doesn't know that he is live. All right, let's see. Hello, Mr. James. Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello, Mr. James.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Though I've already sent a message. So,
okay.
I want to commend you guys for what you are doing over there in the studio.
Thank you.
Please, I notice that people are trying to get you worked up. Please don't just try not to be worked up. Okay.
All right.
A lot of people. A lot of people are trying to express their grievance, but they should do it within the bounds of good taste.
Okay.
And
oh wow, James, what happened? Okay, Nigerians, I don't leave politicians to do as them like. Talking from today till tomorrow will not change anything. Every day, one lie to another, which is INEC telling Nigerians that the media is painting them black. Yeah, so they said that on Friday. Mr. President does not like criticism. A leader should have the capacity to absorb criticism. Owolabi Temi Tokpek Paul from Lagos. All right, thank you, Owolabi, for that. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. Name and location, please.
Hi.
All right.
Yeah, this is Mr. Joseph calling from Shomolu.
All right, Mr. Joseph, go ahead. You have a minute.
First of all, I want to comment on the good job you are doing.
All right, thank you.
It's a very good one. Secondly, I must say one thing that I during this country most is stability.
Okay.
The day we learn to love one another and speak to as they have each other's back, only then we can strive to achieve something great. And secondly, one thing, I know every person calling is trying to express how they feel about the pain, how in the area where they are pain in the country and all of that. So, just like the last caller once said, everybody should try to do the right thing, not just to express themselves in the way that supports every person.
Yes.
And secondly, I must say, for the good work people are doing, at least not every session will want to be come out to spoke and give the room for people to express themselves.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this. God bless you.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. All right, let me read more messages. Good evening, Esther. Your guest spoke well. The president reshuffling basically is to favor others that would dance to his tone. Nothing is getting better here, my sister. They've written their script, so make optimal use of their tenure. Let's hope on God's intervention. APC can't offer anything good, and that's from OC. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. Please, Israel, I called back. Please, I want to correct something. Hello.
Go ahead. You just have a minute, please.
Okay. That man that called said that Tinubu is going to win Tinubu is not going to win 2027. Let me say, if Tinubu know that he's not going to win 2027, he will first remove this INEC chairman and put the one that shoot him. Because what Oshomola talked in 2019 said, Atiku will win by voting, while Buhari will win by INEC announcement. That's what is going to happen that 2027. So if Tinubu know that he's not going to win that 2027, he will first that tomorrow or today first remove INEC, then put the one that suits him that will announce him as a winner. That's what is going to happen. So may we just forget about this issue of 2027.
Now, wow, you never reach do like that. I feel like it's quite imperative for us to somehow try and believe that the institution would work for us in 2027.
The truth is that with what we are seeing on ground, if it continues like this, there's going to be no doubt. This man, when he was governor of Lagos State, worked with 3 deputy governors within the 8 years. He had Mama Koforola Bokno, he had Femi Pedro, and the last one he had before he left was Prince Abiodun Ogunleye. What does that mean to you? That anybody that is not doing his bidding must go. Like his bidding here is not that. No matter how tolerant you are, if you are not loyal 100% to him, you are going. So that's what is going on in Aso Rock. Whether he reshuffles his cabinet or not, he's still going to bring in people that will be loyal 100% to him, because this loyalty will fester their ground towards 2027.
We have a call. Hello,
Esther. Hello, Esther.
Yes.
Good afternoon from here.
Yes.
My name is Darlington Eze.
Okay.
So I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
All right, Mr. Darlington. Good evening.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to say you are my best of the best of the best of the best VOP presenter.
Thank you.
That allow people to earn their voice without calling them or being rude, being anything. I must commend you for that, thank you for your team, your analysts there. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
That is first. Yeah. So I have an answer, not this present topic you're having today. I have an answer for why people are asking why is Wike not being why is it to everybody are scared of him. So I have the answer. The answer is this, simply: if you come after Wike, every politician has every PDP stakeholders have house in Abuja. Wike will revoke their destiny. They will find one way or the other. That is the truth about the whole thing. So people should stop asking why is Wike almighty for all that. So that is it for that. So for Mr. President Tinubu, your President Tinubu.
Our president.
Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not there with you guys. It's you people that chose him, because from
we
here
never choose. It's INEC that chose him. INEC imposed him on us.
No, people voted for the president though.
When they said glitch,
people voted. Whether you like it or not, people voted. At the end of the day, yeah, Tinubu, I know. I worked at Murtala Mohammed International Airport for a long time before I left the US. So Tinubu is a person that, even when we are working there, is a man that will come and share money to everybody. Tinubu will never pass our department without sharing envelope, so he always knows his way to make way for himself. So 2027, what we are seeing now, everybody hate him. He will still come back with that same tactics and make his way. So it's everything lies on us for us to just know what to do. If we are tired of collecting money and then making people, who they want to be, not what we want for ourselves, we should carry on like that. You know.
All right, thank you.
That would be my little this in there. Thank you so much again
Thank you.
for being the best of the best.
Yeah,
we love
thank
you
you.
from here.
Yes, we
Bye-bye.
love you too.
And
yes.
your team too.
Thank
Bye.
you. So what's your final take, please?
Well, we will continue to talk, and by the special grace of God, we, in as much as we are still alive, we continue to talk.
Yeah.
Because the polity, Nigerians belong to us, and the
All right.
government of democracy belongs to the people.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Elimehele. God bless you for coming here right here on this program. I know it was not very easy for you, but thank you so much. My name is Esther Machiko. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Follow me at Estic Media on YouTube. Do have yourself a beautiful